my wife's a garage sale collector. She's at every rummage sale you'll ever see. She buys the clothes and never stops to check them. She just bags them up and brings them home to me.
Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Clay from Clay's Collections. Today we're at the Goodwill Outlet Store, commonly known as the Bins, and I am sorting through to see if they can find any fun treasures for resale or for personal use. And by the time I got here, this is the day before Thanksgiving, and it was a super busy day because usually around the holidays things get really busy at the Bins, and the Bins were really picked over because I didn't get there till like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'm just going through, seeing if there's anything somebody may have overlooked that I would be interested in. And I am fortunate in that there's not a lot of vintage dealers that go through here looking specifically for vintage items. Excuse me. So I kind of have the advantage there of limited competition. Although this was a fabulous piece. This is a 1930s Hamilton Beach mixer. So it's an early electric mixer. It's a Model C, and while of course the beaters were not there, I have actually extra beaters that I could replace with, but I decided not to pick it up, even though it'd be less than $2 for me to buy it. I just am not dealing with that. But here's another box of an attachment that goes with it. I'm trying to move this big old radiant heater they have here, which is super heavy. It's hard to move stuff around with one hand because I'm looking for all the little accessories to go with it. And had there been more accessories, I probably would have picked it up. So here I'm looking at the newspaper to say, okay, well, how long was it wrapped up in this newspaper? And I think you'll see when I show this piece of paper that it was from the 1990s, I think 1996. So it'd been packed away for quite a while before it hit the Bins. So yeah, so we just keep looking, and then I saw this cute little carrying case, could be used as a purse with a little mouse on top, and then there was this fabulous cosmetic case, piece of luggage, definitely an older piece, probably 40s to 50s, in great condition. Still had the keys inside. I did pass it up. I did not buy it because I'm not dealing with large pieces right now, so kind of left it behind. And we just keep searching. Again, the household stuff was very picked over. Saw this, it's a modern pumpkin. Thought about it, but I'm like, I'm not doing too much with holiday stuff, and especially since Halloween was just over, I don't want to have to store things for another year. I don't have the space because I'll be giving up my rental space that I currently have, that I've been filming my videos in, which you guys have seen over the last couple years since I've had my extra office space that I've worked out of. My lease expires in June, so I have a few more months there, but I'll be giving that up, so I don't want to have to store a lot of stuff for the holidays for next year. So we're just keep plugging along here, looking through stuff. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Clay's Collections, and I am Clay, and it's great to see you guys again. I have a Goodwill Bins haul. Now today's video is definitely mostly books, because that's what I found at the Goodwill Bins. But I do have a fabulous find from Black Friday, if you will. Cindy and I went to a thrift store on Black Friday that was having 50% off the entire store, and there had been an item there that I'd seen a couple weeks before, but I wasn't willing to pay the price. But at half price, it was still there, and I was willing to pay it. It's a great piece. So yeah, but if you're new to the channel, welcome. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button, and please feel free to comment on any of the items, any of the books that you have, that you see that you like or whatever. Let me know. So as many of you know, I'm kind of in this transition phase where I'm working full-time again, and so I'm trying to figure out where I want to go. Majority of what I'm going to sell is going to be at the antique store, the Pink Elephant, which is a local antique store I have a booth at here in Hopkins, Minnesota. And I'm scaling back off of eBay, and I'm not doing any whatnot sales anymore either. I just don't have the time to do all of these different platforms. So I will probably be removing most of the items that I have on eBay here, by the end of the year. But I'll still be listing a few specific items, but it'll be pared down dramatically from what I was doing. But anyway, let's just get into this haul. Found some great stuff. Okay, so sometimes books can have humorous topics or covers or different things like that, and I always look for unusual ones if I can find them. And just so you guys know, at our local Goodwill Outlet Store, commonly called the Bins, we pay 59 cents an inch for books. So it's based on the height of the book. The thicker the book, the more you spend. The thinner the book, the less you spend. And what I do, in case anybody's interested, for my accounting principles, as far as cost of each book, is I take the total cost of what I spent. Like today it was approximately $7 for these books. Take it by how many books I got and then just divide it up. So my average over all this time runs consistently at 50 cents a book. So even though it may be a really thick book like this one, that would be $2, in actual, or 2 inches, so make it $1 in actual cost. When I cost average, it's 50 cents. So I do that for simplicity. As far as for inventory purposes, I can just say, okay, all my books are 50 cents, because that's basically what I'm selling. So when I go to sell them, then I can say my cost is 50 cents. And there are exceptions to that when I do estate sales or different things where I'm paying more for books. But as far as books I pick up from the Goodwill bins, that's my cost average. Anyway, so one of them I picked up, which I thought was hilarious. Again, trying to expand my cookbook collection at the Pink Elephant, was this one. It's called The Bachelor's Cookbook, a basic guide to help the man about town find his way around the kitchen. I thought that was hilarious too. And there's an inscription from 1975, is given to a dad by his son, and Anyway, this book is from 1962, actually, is the copyright date. So, just a fun little book. And there's none listed on eBay. But again, it's going down to the Pink Elephant. And it is probably a $15 book, because it's kind of rare. All right, this is the most valuable book I found, which was exciting. It was the first edition. This one I picked up, The Doctor's Mail. It's actually a history volume on the doctors that started the Mayo Clinic. And this is a first edition from 1941. But this is the third printing of the first edition. So the first printing was 20,000 copies, second printing 20,000, third printing 20,000. Sometimes book publishers are very helpful and give you all the detail you need to know. And this is published by the University of Minnesota Press, so it's a local book. Mayo Clinic is in Rochester, just an hour and a half from where I live, so it's a local piece. So it's definitely one to have in my supply down at the Pink Elephant, because I have a local interest section as well. This particular book is The Scarlet Letter. Now, this is a very inexpensive publication of it, although it does have, kind of a fancy looking spine, but it's printed, it's not embossed. In other words, it doesn't have any texture to it, it's just flat. Printed with the gold printing, it's worn off. This is a paper cover, and you can always tell because the books are very light. So they use very lightweight paper, lightweight covers. They're not made really to last very well or long. But this one, actually, considering, is in very good shape. It sat on the shelf for many, many years. But it's still a good book. I'll put it up there for probably around $5, $4 to $5. It's a great title, The Scarlet Letter. Another one, category of books, is kind of the religious, spiritualist type of books, and that's what this one is, Beyond Death. It says The Gates of Consciousness. This also is an older book from 1980. So, talks about different religions and the different theories or practices about after-death experiences. So this is, $15 to $20 book. Excuse me. Need to go get my second cup of coffee this morning. All right, here's another cookbook, the Boston Cooking School Cookbook. This is also a well-published book, shall we say. Then it has extreme detail on this page. It's originally published in 1896. This particular version is from the 1941, when it was newly and completely revised. And this book has had a total printing of 2,286,000 copies as of the 1940s. So yes, popular book, nice, older book, 80-year-old book. So here is Under the Lilacs by Louisa May Alcott. Great author. Not a common title for her. We know her from other titles as well. It's kind of fun and stamped on there, 29 cents in the front. This is not a major publication. This is a young adults publication for this from 1935. It has some simple illustrations in it, which is really cool. Still has this dust jacket, which is in okay condition. It's got some condition along the edges, but given the age, it's actually really good. But again, I buy them because of the author, as opposed to, in this case, and it looks like a little dog or something got to it. So it's got a little chew marks, which I just noticed. But again, I'm just going to put that out there. It's probably $3, $4. So if somebody has some of her, the spine is still great for decorative purposes. So that'll be good. Then I picked up this one, and I realized after I picked it up, it has some dents along the edges. It's a Jane Austen collection. Sense and Sensibility, Pride and Prejudice, Mansfield Park, Emma, Northanger Abbey, and Persuasion. So I'll see if I can't straighten out these little dents a little bit. But again, because it was a collection of Jane Austen's works, it's got a great look on the spine. Again, much more for decoration purposes than for reading purposes that someone would buy this book. Look great on the bookshelf for decoration. So again, this one, probably, $5 to $10 I'll put on it. But the exciting book was this one, Tolkien, the Silmarillion, which actually I had never heard of before I found this one. But of course I had heard of Tolkien before. I'm sure all of you have. Lord of the Rings, right? But this happens to be a first edition of this book from 1977. Not the first printing, but the first edition. First American edition, let's put it that way. First American edition. And with the dust jacket, which this dust jacket overall is in pretty good condition. It does have a couple tears, and it is missing on the end. But the book itself is in great condition, does have an inscription when it was given as a Christmas gift in 1977. It has the map, which is all important to have, glued in the back for this particular edition. And it is a approximately $40 book. So for my $7 investment, it was a great deal. And again, that's why I love the bins, because the people who go through the bins are not looking for, the book bins aren't looking for valuable first editions. They leave them for me, which I am super excited about. All right, so that's the books, which I was excited about for $7. And Friday after Thanksgiving, Sin and I went to a local thrift store. We didn't even realize they were having a Black Friday special. We got there and found out, oh yeah, it's 50% off everything. I ran into another friend of mine that I see at garage sales all the time. He is a reseller, and so he was stocking up on stuff. He was actually the first one to tell us that they were having 50% off everything. So, like I said, a couple weeks before, I had stopped in the store and saw this particular piece, but they had $35 on it. I wasn't willing to pay that, even though there was one similar one currently listed for $200, not on eBay, but on like on Etsy, I think. So at half price, and I was surprised this beautiful ruffled glass vase was still there. It's a beautiful piece. Still has the mold marks. It's not the highest of quality glass, but it is just a beautiful piece. Great statement piece. Stands approximately 15 inches tall. That beautiful ruffle, and I love the design on it. And this kind of vignette or ombre effect, going from dark green on the bottom to a very light green on top. And in the printing world, we call that a vignette, where it went that way. In other areas of the world, they call it ombre. So anyway, it's a beautiful, beautiful vase. This will go down to the pink elephant. I think I'm going to hold on to it actually for a little while because I really like it. So I might just display it here at the house for a while. But anyway, that's our haul for the day. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. And are looking forward to the month of December and all the adventures that happen there. All right, guys. We'll catch you next time.